Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
My name's Bara. I'm an alcoholic. Hi. God, I thought being up here giving a cake would relax me. But it's a new moment. We deal in the moment, right now, this moment. And first of all, I would like to thank Willis, because as Ashley shared, it is an honor to share your experience, strength, and hope and speak at an AA meeting. And I have to be reminded that I do have a lot of experience and strength and sometimes a lot of hope. But what I've learned in this program is what I'm going to share with you today. First of all, I have to remember to breathe. Constantly forget to breathe. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, this is what it was like. For those of you that know me from Malibu and have heard me speak a couple of times, bear with me, because in a minute and a half, I can tell you what it was like. I am a poet and an actress and a hustler and a liar and a gambler and a cheat. I'm all these things. But at one point, I was doing poetry at Cafe Largo, and we had a topic, and it was called Twisted, My Sobriety. And this is the poem that I wrote. And this will give you a little capsule of what it was like. I am a bittersweet tale of a Hollywood failure. I was born and bred in Tinseltown red, and I bled it dry till I damn near died. Twisted, I enlisted my sobriety. Now it takes more than a name and big-time fame to climb my frame, but just the same, what game shall we play today? The master builder, the masturbator, the great creator, or Terminator? Man, I got scope when I'm on dope. My. Pie in the sky, I love to get high. A little drinky, let's get kinky. A lot of smack, ooh, you're on the right track. Speedball, might not get back at all. Come on, get me right, pass the pipe. Come on, pass that pipe, I'm double-fisted. Twisted, I enlisted my sobriety. Now don't knock it unless you've tried it, 'cause I tried them all, from every stall. Perks worked. Love lose, and Tylenol 4 could open my door. And for real flip out, Hopper supplied a peyote trip out in space. Yeah, and this is really a riot. A daily diet for many a year. Angel dust was a must. It's a miracle I'm here. Sometime not so terrific, but beats the Pacific Ocean. And I got a notion that's where I'd be, twisted, were I not gifted my sobriety. That's no exaggeration. I have a propensity to exaggerate, so I will tell you that that was the facts. I did end up living in the back of a Scirocco. Oddly enough, someone just handed me this with the gentleman that this meeting was started for. It originally was the Joe Farrell Musicians Picnic 11 years ago. This is the man that I lived with and put the first shot of heroin in my arm. Don't blame him, it was a step up. He said I was dying of angel dust, so heroin was a cleaner drug. Actually, they told us that in Beverly Glen Hospital, but I don't suggest you try it. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I came from middle-class Jewish parents that got divorced when I was 6 years old, and I was sent to a private school in South Pasadena that was anti-Semitic. So I felt a little different. Every morning singing "Onward, Christian Soldiers March." Every morning in the assembly hall, I sang "Onward, Christian Soldiers." And I did feel different. Not only did I feel different from the religious point of view, but when my parents divorced, I got this outbreak. You've heard of the heartbreak of psoriasis? Well, it happened. From stem to stern, I was covered with lesions all over my body, scabs in my hair, face, body. It was really radical. I mean, I had to wear trousers, long sleeve shirts, in my ears and my hair. It was not a pretty picture. And I spent about 4 years in this private school and then was transferred to another private school called Carl Thorpe in Santa Monica. And that was a nightmare too. I mean, you got punished if you couldn't go to the bathroom, literally punished. And so I developed hemorrhoids at 13. That's also has carried me with the psoriasis. Those are my two wonderful, before alcoholism, I had these two wonderful diseases. Well, I guess hemorrhoids aren't a disease, but they more or less really actually keep you at the, what's his name? The doctor? Not the orthopedic, the one that, anyway, we had a lot of years with him. A lot of years with that. I thought I wanted to be an actress, but my family was very against being an actress, so I went to, I must say, I went to UCLA at 15. I was the youngest entrant at this time to ever go there. I looked like I was going to have an outstanding career as a psychologist, which is what I studied. And at that time, I found mild alcohol, maybe, beer came to me at the University of Arizona, where I transferred from UCLA. But what actually was the most fun was the grass. When I was turned on to grass, I always traveled in the fast lane. I loved musicians. I loved creative people. I loved the Jack Kerouacs and the people, Allen Ginsberg. My poetry does not emulate theirs, if any of you know their poetry, but it came from my experience. And my experience growing up was that I was never what I wanted to be. My outsides looked one way and my insides felt another way. I always felt less than. I always felt I had this kinky hair and the scabs in the body, and what I was told was, you're smart. You're smart. You've got a lot of potential. You're smart. And who wants to hear that they're smart? I wanted to hear that I was pretty and that guys wanted to go out with me, or that I was going to get in the best club, and none of those things were happening. So what I did was I started smoking grass and drinking and hanging out with people that I thought inadvertently I could through them, through osmosis, through who they were, I could become something. So I was on the arms of people like Frank Sinatra, Jr. and Sr. I have no prejudice of age, could be old, young. And there were a lot of musicians, a lot of comedians, a lot of singers. All you had to be was creative. That was generally the caliber. My father is a very successful businessman. Do not like businessmen. You know, lawyers, doctors, you know, you're supposed to marry the doctor, the lawyer. This was not my cup of tea. I wanted the bad boys. I wanted the guys. You know, my father's been married 5 times, and you know, he's kind of a paradox, but he's a Scorpio, so that allots for his 5 marriages, but gotta have a woman at all times. And you know, I must say that my father has been there for me through many drug busts and through many hospitals and jails. You know, thank God for my father. He's 87 years old. He just got back from a month in Africa, and he's leaving next week for a month in somewhere, Brazil or something. I know he just moves and shakes. The wife kind of gets him out there on the leash and takes him wherever she wants to go. So what happened was I went to a lot of premieres. I went to a lot of art openings, art galleries, and I ended up in shooting galleries. I don't know if many of you have had the experience. I hope not, to know what a shooting gallery is. But what it is after you no longer have a place to live, to shoot your drugs, because my final drug of choice ended up being heroin. I loved your pitch, Ashley. You're so, I wish to God that I had found this program at your age. I had barely gotten started at his age. It's amazingly wonderful to see the young faces, and I'm so proud to sponsor Gina. Yeah. And Moira. And Bonnie, and just a bunch. I don't know who's here. Thank God I can't see you all very clearly. It's one of the values of getting older. It's a little blur. But what happened is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. My mother said when I was smoking marijuana, "You smoke marijuana, you will end up doing heroin." And I went, "Mother, come on. I know so many people, God, you know, that smoke grass. It's no big deal." And, you know, what extremes we go to make our parents right. When Pasquale's was here, 1978, it's where Peerview is now. And I moved down here on my son's 8th birthday, which was May 20th, 1978. And I went to Pasquale's, and I met this man who eventually did drive me to Beverly Glen Hospital, where I got sober. And he was just one of those musicians that I fell into. And God, look at the day, May 17th. God, you do have a sense of humor. My present significant other, that's his natal birthday. And also the birthday of a man that I lived with, a man that wrote Funny Girl, that put a gun in his mouth a few weeks ago and committed suicide. And I was able to go to his wife's house, who I had never met. This was 27 years, oh God, you can't lie here, Bara. 35 years later, oh God, it couldn't have been. Oh, 64, 74. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. A woman has to have some mystery. But this was a long time ago. If any of you know when Funny Girl was on Broadway, I lived with the man when he wrote it, and he had Crohn's disease and he killed himself just recently. But I was able to send a fax to his wife and say, I am an old friend of Bob's, and I would like very much to pay my last respects. And I put my phone number, and she called me back, and she said, I have heard a lot about you. Bob talks with great reverence about you, and I would love to have you here. It's a small gathering of just his close friends and family. And I was able to go there without a drink or a drug or a shot or a Percodan or any of the things that I used to use to take the edge off. You know, I just needed the edge off. I just couldn't do it by myself. I just didn't have the guts, the balls, the nerve. You know, this program has taught me that there are winners and there are people with excuses. And that's it. God bless you. Someone just sneezed on the truth. That's it, folks. Winners and people with excuses. And I had the best excuses my whole life. I had psoriasis. I had a daddy that was caught in a motel room with another woman when I was 6, and my poor mother. And then I had a mother that died of Alzheimer's disease 25 years ago in a grueling, grueling, grueling death, weighing 67 pounds and back to senility. Just, I mean, it was a nightmare. But you know what? Every one of us in this room has been touched by some nightmare. I guarantee you that everyone in here can tell me a story that's a reason to give credence to being an alcoholic. Every one of us. But do you want to live in that incident? 2 days, 2 years, 20 years, 50 years ago? Or do you want to live right now? Because like Al S. says, this is it. This is it. This is it, folks. This is all there is. You like me, you don't like me. It doesn't matter. 3 weeks from now, you won't even remember I spoke, and neither will I. So, you know, right now it's a big deal. But 3 weeks from now, maybe 3 hours from now, you know, do you remember who spoke last week? I remember. You know why? Evan. He was a stand-up comic, and he was fabulous. And I said to him, Evan, I got to speak next week. I'm so nervous. What am I going to do? What'd you do? You were so great. I mean, I know you're a stand-up comic, but you were really great. He said to me, the girl that spoke before me and I were really nervous, and we were sitting up there, and we decided to pretend that we had just won the lotto. I mean, if I had just won 20 million, would I give a shit? So Evan, wherever you are, actually he's in Hawaii right now, doing his stand-up. Yeah, so I'd like to thank you, Evan, wherever you are, because it's a great idea. You know, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think.
I have so many friends that came here, angels that are sitting throughout this room, that I love and that came and that broke other engagements and that are here for me. And your faces and your love, I gotta get back to the story because if it weren't for the lady sitting in the front row here in the red sweater, I might never be up here today. I might be an obituary. What happened was during the course of my using, this jazz musician, Joe Farrell, and I'm not breaking his anonymity because he's playing up there in the big band in the sky right now. He and I were living at her home in Bel Air. We had long since lost our home. And I had sold my car. I had an old Cadillac convertible, but not that old. I mean, not worth more than a gram of smack. I had just put new tires on it, and that's what I sold it for, a gram of smack. Now, if that sounds silly to you, $550 is what it went for. The car was at least worth $2,500. But you know, when I needed something or wanted something, whether it be a man, a brownie, a shot of heroin, whatever it is, there was nothing that stood in my way. I didn't know the word surrender. Surrender to win. The things I've learned in this program, turn it over, let go, let God. What? This is for losers. This isn't for me. You just go. Tenacity's the name of the game. That's what I was taught. People that surrender are wimps. Well, what happened was we went to the Bel Air Country Club for Thanksgiving dinner, and we had a little falling out, which I don't recall what it was about. And she asked me for her credit cards back. What an injustice. I mean, I needed them for gas and food and life. See, she had married this wealthy man, and she was the godmother of my son. And she had helped me out through the years, and my mother, and had been a really good friend. But you don't have any social mores or any conscience. I didn't have any. When it got down to the brass tacks and I wanted to fucking score, it didn't matter who I fucked, man, woman, no dogs. But God knows, if time went on, what would have happened. I mean, it was about who I could get before they got me. I stole, I cheated, I lied. I was a compulsive gambler in Gardena for years, stole out there. Used to get high on angel dust and play lowball and go, bicycle, and turn it over. I'd have 2 4s, and then turn it over real fast and rake in the pot. Somebody'd say, didn't you have 2 4s? I said, are you kidding? I had a bike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, whatever it took to get that money that was in that pot so I could go score, that's what I had to do. Well, what happened is I moved out because I was kindly asked to move out. And I still had these credit cards. And I was still very strung out on heroin. So strung out that I had no veins. I was shooting in my ankles. Hope you didn't get there, Ashley. Bad scene for a woman, you know, got to show your ankles. No good to have those little purple marks in your ankles. Anyway, what happened is I went to Neiman Marcus, and I decided to buy a beautiful gold necklace, $3,600, 18 karat. That would keep me in smack for at least a week. I was doing this run with Louis Vuitton and Gucci bags, 300, 400, get them at Saks or Bullocks or Magnons, take them back to the Valley, Saks, Bullocks or Magnons, or when the Wilshire store used to have it at Vermont Magnons. That was a good one, very upscale. They were very good. So what happened is my boyfriend, Joe, had an intuitive sense. And when they said the chain, the link was broken, they had to fix the lock on it, just come back in 15 minutes. He said, I'm not going in with you, they're suspicious. I said, what do you mean they're suspicious? They've got the credit card, they're fixing the... Anyway, long story short, I was engulfed by 6 policemen and taken to the Beverly Hills jail when I went back in. And for those of you that have not been to jail, I don't suggest it. Did not like the food. No. Did not like the food at all. I am a vegetarian. They did not care. I do not eat this kind of food. I do not eat spaghetti with the meatballs in pink and they smell, and I want some vegetarian food. And they said, sorry, this is it. So what happened was I stayed in there 3 days and 3 nights. I had burned all my bridges. I had gotten busted once in Malibu prior to that and gotten off in a heartbeat. Paul Fitzgerald had been the attorney for Manson, for those of you old enough to remember Manson. I mean, getting us off a drug bust was a piece of cake. He got mass murderers off, so I mean, we were fine. We were in Malibu jail for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then we went back to our connection in the valley, scored some drugs, and went to a recording session, and went on for the next 3-4 years. Now, that's up to date. Now I am in Neiman Marcus. Joe is sitting in the car because he always said, one of us have to stay outside. One of us have to watch. You know, it was always him. Well, I got in the police car and drove away, and he was sitting there. He was sitting in the white Scirocco, the beat-up white Scirocco, watching me. And I went to jail, and I spent 3 days and 3 nights. And what happened was I called my dad. He had his brother come down and bail me out. I was told that I had 3 felonies: grand theft, illegal use of credit cards, and forgery. And I was really scared that I might go to prison. And fear can get me to do most anything. And what it did was it checked me into Beverly Glen Hospital. And by the grace of God, I do not know why me. I do not know. Maybe it's because Michelle and Mike and the people who are in this room tonight that I heard that stood up as newcomers might hear one thing that could divert you from the path that I had. You know, it was a long, tedious, ugly road. Yes, I can tell you it was fun at openings and champagne, and I can give you my euphoric recall, because we all have a tendency once in a while, just before we go out, to get euphoric recall. It wasn't so bad. I had fun. I can manage it this time. I know what to do. I learned. Bullshit. That ain't true, folks. And I pray for you that you don't have to go out and experiment again. I pray for you. Because I heard in Beverly Glen, and I'm here now 15 years later to tell you, attest to the fact that when you're doing the Lord's Prayer, if you're here next year, the person on either side of you is not. That's the odds. So look around. I've been coming to this meeting for a lot of years, over a decade, and I can tell you, it circulates, it changes. A lot of people move away, but a lot of people don't stay sober. Anyway, back to the story. They called this woman whose credit card I had, and they got her husband on the phone, and they said, your wife's in Neiman Marcus. She's charging a very expensive necklace. Is that all right? He said, describe her. The jig was up. That's how I got to jail. I do not look anything like my beautiful friend. And had I not gone to jail and been forced to go to Beverly Glen, I'm telling you now, there is no way that I would be here today. My life was over. My son was taken away. I still have that wreckage to contend with. He is in Chino State Prison. He's been in 10 prisons. He can't get it. He wants to be a crack addict. There's nothing I can do. I give my experience, strength, and hope to the ladies that I sponsor that want it. This program is not for people that need it. We all know that. I can only give it to the people that want it. And I'm very fortunate. You know, the people that I sponsor keep me sober. They think that they call me and I give them my time and my energy. It's their love. You know, I always wanted a daughter, and a lot of them are the age that would be my daughters. And it's so fulfilling. It is so wonderful. This program has given me a life, a very good life for a dead woman. There was no way that I would have made it this far. And I did what I was told. I went to meetings, I got commitments. I've done a 10th step for the last 14 plus years, every night. I work the steps to the best of my ability. I am not struck saintly. I do not do it all right. The only thing that I have done right is I haven't drank, drugged, pilled, or anything else that we have in our rules. I guess they're rules. But that's the only thing I've done right. I mean, I do not profess to have done everything right, but I do the best I can. I'm probably the best Bara today that I've ever been. And I know that if I stick around in this program, that I will become better, wiser, more from my heart, more from my spirit. This is a spiritual program. I was brought up in a material world with a material family where all the stress was on money, property, and prestige. I have had to take all that I knew or thought I knew and learned and turn it around. There's just not much that you have to do and change here, just everything. For me, it was everything. Because me, a man, was someone to use, get what you can and get out. Women, you don't trust, they're after your man. I mean, all the rules that I grew up with did not bring me happiness. They did not bring me joy. They didn't cause. I think I was born an alcoholic. My father still drinks a good amount every day, but he manages, and he God bless him, he's doing fine for his age. And all I can say is, if you've gotten into this room on a Saturday night, chances are that you are one of us. And I'm speaking to the new people. Stick around. You can have a life. You can have your dreams come true. You know, I'm a senior citizen, and my dreams are coming true. You know, I'm an age that I thought things are over when you get to be this age. And I'm finding each day is a new beginning. Each day is a new beginning when you reach out and try and help another person and get out of your own way. And that's what I've learned in this program. That is really the message that I have learned, is to reach out to someone else and share with them what I have learned in my years, and try to be of love, and try to be of peace, and try to be of spirit, because we're all in this together, and you never know when you're up or down, because it changes from year to year and moment to moment. And I wish you all, everyone in this room, I pray that you all stay here and have a happy, joyous, and free life. Thank you.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with, and it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst and one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up, but the gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.